And Jim, before we go any further, let's clear the air for the CDL professional drivers watching this. These bills are not aimed at legal truck drivers. Drivers who are properly licensed, legally employed, and are qualified to drive commercial vehicles have nothing to fear. So the real focus of this two-part series is to answer the question, why did Florida and Arizona find it necessary and feel the need to propose laws this aggressive, and why are other states sure to follow suit and put the same type of legislation into law?
Because the industry didn't fix the problem on its own, that's why. The move by Florida and Arizona to implement aggressive trucking legislation was largely triggered by a catastrophic fatal accident by an illegal immigrant truck driver, which led to the discovery of massive loopholes in the commercial driver licensing (CDL) system.
First, let's look at when these bills were first introduced into state legislatures, who sponsored this legislation along with the reasons why and where the process stands right now.
Jim, let's start with Florida. I couldn't agree with you more, as I also believe the defining event which opened up everyone's eyes about this problem occurred on August 12, 2025, when a tractor-trailer driven by an illegal immigrant made an illegal U-turn on the Florida Turnpike, leading to a collision that killed 3 people in a minivan. This incident exposed several systemic failures. So exactly what legislation was introduced and when will it go into effect?
Florida's bill is Senate Bill 86, was filed on September 25th of 2025 for the 2026 legislative session, and it was sponsored by Don Gates, with a companion House bill filed by Jason Schoaf. On January 27th of 2026, Senate Bill 86 passed its first Senate Transportation Committee vote and moved on to additional committees. This bill is not law yet, but it is expected to pass and go into law. Bernie and I did a video about the incident that sparked this needed crackdown in the trucking industry and the illegal immigrant driver that was involved in the illegal U-turn which caused 3 deaths. I would urge those that haven't viewed this video to do so. It will open your eyes up to just how blatant these illegal drivers are, and worse yet, are the trucking companies that hire them. I will leave a link for that video in the description for this video for those that haven't seen it and want to do so.
And Arizona. Was there a specific incident that broke the proverbial camel's back and led to Arizona stepping up their game with tougher legislation that actually has some teeth in it instead of just double talk?
Arizona's House bill was introduced on January 15th of 2026 by David Livingston. Like Florida, it also passed out of committee in late January, but again, not law yet, but is expected to be ratified. According to the bill's sponsors and supporting reports, the legislation was introduced primarily as a public safety measure aimed at cracking down on the use of falsified commercial driver licenses. What sparked Arizona to step up their game and go after illegal truck drivers, and also the trucking companies that hire illegal drivers, was a series of similar accidents across multiple states. This was part of a larger trend of at least 5 fatal accidents since January 2025, which collectively killed 12 people and involved foreign-born illegal immigrant drivers or those with fraudulent CDLs, prompting urgent state-level action.
Now let's break down why this legislation is necessary and how it will be enforced.
When you read the committee analyses and sponsor statements, lawmakers keep circling the same issues. Proponents argue that drivers using fraudulent licenses haven't passed necessary driver safety testing, often can't speak English, or can't meet medical standards, all of which pose a safety risk to the general public while operating what is essentially an 80,000-pound missile flying down the highway.
These states have had enough and are reacting to a failure by the trucking industry to police its own. Everything from fraudulent CDLs being sold, falsified road tests, bribed examiners, and fake CDL schools. Secondly, illegal employment pipelines, drivers working under fake visas, fake immigration documents, or no work authorization at all, hired because they're cheap labor and won't complain. Thirdly, trucking company and CDL training school complicity. Some companies and CDL schools know exactly what they're doing and often are in cahoots with one another. They know damn well what they are doing is totally illegal and fraudulent, yet they keep doing it anyway. These are bold operators with no fear of reprisal.
We have done various videos documenting how fake chameleon-like trucking companies and how other fraud networks that have exploited our CDL system actually work. Whether you agree with the immigration policies or not, the safety implications are undeniable. And most importantly, if you didn't legitimately earn that CDL license, you don't belong behind the wheel of a commercial vehicle.
Exactly. And I'll say this bluntly. If CDL schools enforced English language proficiency the way they're supposed to, and if carriers verified work authorization like they're required to, none of this would exist.
Now, let's talk about the real-world events lawmakers point to when pushing these bills.
Here is something to think long and hard about. Trucking moves 72% of the nation's freight by weight. We employ 3.5 million drivers. We're one of the few remaining middle-class careers that doesn't require a 4-year degree, and 81% of Congress can't be bothered to engage with any trucking legislation. That's the real story here, and is the reason states are done pussyfooting around with illegal drivers and the trucking companies that hire them.
States are sick and tired of waiting for federal action on CDL fraud, and they're taking matters into their own hands. If you're a trucking company operating in Florida or Arizona or in any other state, you need to take a good, hard look at your driver verification processes right now. The age of playing the "oh, I didn't know" as a defense for hiring illegal or unqualified drivers is ending. Trucking companies and owner-operators better start documenting everything they do. Mainly because when these bills become law, and they will, the trucking companies already doing things the right way will thrive, and the ones cutting corners and not enforcing standards will face consequences they never imagined.
I am totally surprised that more legal CDL drivers aren't outraged over all of this fraud happening. Every time one of these illegal or unqualified truck drivers causes a crash, every legal truck driver pays the price in public perception, lawsuits, and regulation.
Now, in Part 2, we're going to dig into the real target of these State House bills, trucking companies and CDL schools, and explain exactly what happens to trucking companies who keep hiring illegal drivers and what will happen to CDL schools and third-party examiners that take bribes and pass out fraudulent CDLs.
We'll also break down interstate consequences, industry responses, and whether these types of law will actually help the trucking industry or create new problems. Keep the shiny side up and the rubber side down, folks. We are trying to grow this channel to help truck drivers along with educating the general public. You can help us out by smashing that like button and the notification bell. Remember to subscribe and share this with another driver.
Protect your load, protect your rig, and protect yourself. Leave us a comment below with your thoughts and ideas. If it's a good idea, we will share it with everyone. Subscribe for more trucking truth, and together we'll keep hammering this issue till somebody listens.
Well, my friends, stay safe and stay loaded out there. Catch you on the rebound. Remember to keep that left door closed and your hands on the wheel.